let's go live outside the White House to CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. Hey, Natalie. So is the president facing any backlash because of all this?
Well, he is, but it's not just that post about Pope Leo, which essentially you heard from the Pope himself. He said essentially he doesn't want to debate President Trump, but will continue to speak out and promote peace. But what's getting even more backlash is this AI generated image seeming to depict President Trump as Jesus with a hand on a man's head. The president of Iran, reacting to these posts and this back and forth, posted this statement on social media saying he condemns the insult to the Pope and also declares that disrespect towards Jesus is unacceptable. But beyond reaction from Iran, conservative activists are specifically calling out that AI image, saying it is blasphemous, and also adding they just cannot understand why the president would post a picture like that.
Yeah, and speaking of Iran, let's talk about them, because how is the president responding to not getting a deal over the weekend? Does he believe the move to block the strait will now force them to come back to the table?
Well, he's defending the decision, this U.S. blockade on Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz, saying that he thinks it will be effective because Iran will not be able to sell oil. We know that the U.S. is also, according to the president, trying to find interdict vessels in international waters that have paid tolls to Iran, and that the U.S. is also beginning this operation to find mines that had been laid by Iran. So, you know, we are seeing this potential escalation in the strait. The president talking about the talks that broke down this weekend that did not lead to a breakthrough despite more than 20 hours of negotiations. He was asked about this and essentially said that he doesn't care if Iran comes back to the negotiating table. Take a listen to some more of his comments.
I think Iran is in very bad shape. I think they're very desperate. We had a meeting that lasted 21 hours. We understand the situation better than anybody, and Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Will not have. There is no way that they're going to get. They still want it, and they made that clear the other night. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
And CBS News has learned that that was one of the big sticking points this weekend. The U.S. demanding that Iran gives up its uranium stockpiles, ability to enrich. Of course, that's a key material for building a nuclear weapon. Another sticking point to end funding for terrorist proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah, and obviously fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. So you kind of heard the president there alluding to he thinks Iran is so desperate they might come back to the table. Pakistani sources speaking to CBS News have also said there is this intense push to try to get both parties back to the table to hold this ceasefire, and also, of course, the ultimate goal is for a prolonged peace after the ceasefire technically ends on paper. Mugo.
Of course. Natalie Brand outside the White House for us today. Thank you so much.